Today's episode is brought to you by Restaurant.com. With Restaurant.com, you can save at thousands of restaurants across the country with just a few clicks. Their dining deals range from $5 to $100, never expire, and cost you a fraction of the face value. Dinner has never been easier with Restaurant.com. Used for dine-in, takeout, or delivery.
Restaurant.com is offering our listeners 50% off their next purchase by going to www.restaurant.com/podcast. That's www.restaurant.com/podcast for 50% off your next purchase. Restaurant.com is the best deal every meal.
Ideals like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up, but we can all go home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch bison's ass so hard that the next bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now, who wants to go home, and who wants to go with me?
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 243. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for the Rated G network, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/Rated G for Gamers. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. And one final note before we get on with our show. We have an awesome giveaway going on right now. We are giving away one copy of Cyberpunk 2077 for the system of your choice. That's PS4, Xbox One, or PC. To enter this contest, you must be following us on YouTube. You must like this video and drop a comment on what you are looking forward to in Cyberpunk in the comments section below. You can enter once per episode up until the launch of the game. And finally, this giveaway is open to U.S. residents only. Good luck to all who enter. I'm your host, Dave Bertino, and this is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man?
We got a new president, Dan. President-elect Joe Biden, 46th president of the United States.
It took forever, right? It took forever to have... I'm not saying it took forever for, a certain person to win. I'm just saying it took forever to get the results, no matter who you were voting for.
That's right. We're not here to take sides, but yeah, I think it was the longest election count.
No, it wasn't. It definitely was Al Gore and Bush that took like a month.
Oh, well, yeah, true. That was down to like a couple hundred votes, maybe.
Yeah, they had to go to court to get that done. So
I know.
We didn't know until like December.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Okay, so second to that, I think this is probably the second longest election to be counted.
No matter who you voted for, right? We made history. We have a woman and a woman of color as voted into the second highest,
and a woman of Asian descent too. She ticks off 3 boxes in this case. So.
And her husband's Jewish.
There you go.
He's this second gentleman.
Yes,
right?
The first second gentleman,
and he's Jewish.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Just breaking barriers everywhere, baby. Breaking barriers.
It's fantastic. I don't know. Did you go out on Saturday?
You mean what? No.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no. I've been out. I went out.
Okay.
I went out. We got something to eat and came home.
There was
no violence or celebration, either one.
Oh, really? Oh, no. Everyone was banging pots and pans and just kind of like hooping and hollering. It's just what it was. Everyone was just in high spirits.
Was it Star Wars when a Death Star went down?
I mean, pretty much. It felt like that. It felt like the Rebels won.
Well, okay. So rewind. We have to rewind a little bit. So we voted earlier in the week, right?
Yep.
We voted Tuesday.
I voted like
you
2
voted
Saturdays
like
before the
ago.
election. Yeah,
You voted like a month ago.
I did.
You waited in line for like 3 hours and voted a month
and
ago.
I was proud to do it.
Yeah.
I was proud to do it.
Yeah. So I voted the day of,
Mm-hmm.
and the line I gotta say was longer than I expected, but not as long as it was when Obama won. Right? When Obama
really?
first ran. So
really?
when Obama first ran, I was online for 3 hours.
He got a good turnout. People were excited.
So when I went to the line, when I went to the vote last week,
Mm-hmm.
I got up super early, right? I got up at like 5:30 because polls open at 6. There was already a line wrapped around the school. I was like, well, I'm not going to just wait online.
You want to be there. Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I'm not going to wait in line and not move because,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you're waiting and they're not even open. So you're not even moving. So I said, I'm not doing that. So I came back at like 7:30. The line was still long, but at least it was moving. So it took me an hour to vote. And while I was on the line, I watched it was like the unofficial Saved by the Bell, the movie by Lifetime that came out like a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
Listen, I love Saved by the Bell. Listen, I loved Saved by the Bell when I was a kid.
Saved by the Bell was great, man.
I thought high school would be like that. I thought I would know my principal's name and
You should know your principal's name.
I have no idea who my principal's name. I have no idea who my principal was.
Oh my God!
I thought I have home ec. We didn't have a home ec. We didn't have driving classes. We didn't have none of that stuff.
You didn't have home ec? I had home ec in middle school. Yeah,
I didn't have home ec.
Wow. Okay.
No home ec, so I didn't know it. But okay, let's put it this way. You want to talk about fake news, false? You know, like Saved by the Bell. My high school life was nothing like Saved by the Bell, so it was false. Okay, everything I thought high school would be like was not like that. So it was cool to watch the behind the scenes. I guess it was based on the book by Dustin Diamond, who played Screech.
Right.
Because the whole movie was narrated by the character who played Dustin Diamond, who was playing Screech in the movie. Right. So, and some interesting things. Didn't know he was blackmailed. Sort of towards the end, there was like some extra. It was like in the studio that he befriended, and the guy blackmailed them to try to get on the Saved by the Bell.
Interesting.
I know, that was crazy. I was like,
That's
wow,
pretty wild. A little bit of drama in the LBC.
Well, a little bit of drama.
LBC adjacent, I guess. Bayside. Well, not Bayside. What, California? I don't know what part of California they're in. Southern California somewhere.
Well, you know, a little bit of drama in the SBB.
The SBB and the Saved by the Bell. Yeah.
Saved by the Bell.
Nice. Well, I'm gonna have to watch it now. I will. I'll put it up in the queue. I watched the show The Queen's Gambit.
Never heard of that. Is that
it's
Gambit's
brand new.
It's like TV show that from the X-Men.
No, it is not Gambit from the X-Men.
Okay.
No,
right.
it is.
You got me hyped
is
for a minute. I thought I was gonna watch that.
No, it's a chess term, I guess. I mean, it's a term. It's a kind of a general term, but they use it in chess. The gambit, or your kind of like your strategy, I guess, or your gambit maybe. And like the Queen's Gambit, I think, is a type of chess play that you can do, or a chess strategy that you can do. Regardless, the brand new show on Netflix, fantastic. It's like 8 episodes. They're only doing this one season. That's it. It's all about this orphan girl who ends up becoming interested in chess and turns into like she gets really good at chess. I'll say that. And she like starts to try and turn it into a career. It is wild. Yeah. Like you wouldn't think a show about chess is going to be good.
No, I wouldn't. I would never think that. I would never think that.
But it's a really good tight drama, you know. It's got a lot of twists and turns in it. And yeah. So I recommend it.
All right.
I recommend it.
All right. Dave, we have a good show. We have an amazing show. No, we have a gigantic show this week.
Do.
All right. We're going to talk Generation 9 consoles coming out. About time. This is the last episode we're recording in Generation 8. When this episode comes out, Generation 9, it will kick off Generation 9 on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We have a special guest at the end of the show. We're going to talk with Retro Wolf 88.
Yeah.
You know, he has a great YouTube channel. You should go watch it. I know I check him out all the time.
Yeah,
awesome.
Big time retro collector.
He's the only YouTuber I know that has his mom on the show, and I think that's so awesome.
I think you're right. Retro Mama. Yeah.
So, but before we begin, before we talk about all that, let's begin with a little swan song for Generation 8. Right, this is it. PS4, Xbox One X.
It's not
right.
It's
Rest
not,
in peace.
not being buried. It's not being buried, Dad.
Come on, some people as soon as people get their PS5 and Xbox,
They just rip out the PS4 and it's like that's it. It's done.
They're gonna bury it in the backyard.
Listen,
in the backyard.
they're gonna still make Madden games up until the PS6 comes out. All right, Madden is eternal.
No, they're gonna make Just Dance games.
Well, that too. They're gonna make Just Dance games too. Both of those things are true.
I gotta get the last game for the PS4. Just Dance 2027.
Just Dance 2027.
I gotta buy it. So
yeah, man.
little rest. I mean, listen. This is it. This is the last.
It's the changing of the guard.
We're recording.
It's the changing of the guard. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing about it, we started the show with Gen 8, so now we're just putting it out to Swan Song. We
started in the middle of the 8th generation. That's right, back in 2015. So I'm excited, man. I got my Xbox Series X lined up. I was, and we do have a story later on in the show about the PlayStation 5, and I did take some days off to try and get a PlayStation 5. That may have changed.
Okay. Well, you know what? Maybe you can use that day off to go get the new Mass Effect trilogy, because it was officially announced. All right. It was not called the trilogy. Announced. Announced. Yeah, it's coming out.
They're two completely different. Yeah.
It's coming out. It's coming out.
Yeah, finally.
It's called the Legendary Edition. It's coming out in 2020, in spring of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of coming out, oddly enough. It said PS4, Xbox One, and you can obviously forwards compatible with the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, PC, but no mention of the Switch, at least as of yet.
It's a little weird. The
Switch version is probably going to come. You know how it is. Switch version will be at holiday, right, or be at E3 2022.
I mean, Part 3 came out on the Wii U, so it wouldn't be surprising for them to drop it on the Nintendo Switch. I think they should.
If it can go on the Wii U, it can go on the Switch.
That's exactly right. And it looked good, too. I think they could do some good stuff with it.
Well, speaking of the Switch, I just want to say a big congratulations to Nintendo, and the Switch is officially the second best-selling Nintendo home console of all time. It is 68.3 million Switches out there in just, 3 years? Right?
Since 2017, just about. Well, yeah, it'd be 4 years come March. So yeah, like 3.5 years. Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
It is second behind home consoles, by the way. Second behind the Wii.
Right.
So
right. It's probably like the third best handheld console. I'm assuming the DS and the Game Boy sold more than the Switch so far.
The Game Boy, because remember the Game Boy had the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Pocket.
Well, I mean, if you want to count those
Game Boy
as the
Advance,
same,
I think they all.
No. GBA is completely different. The Game Boy, the Game Boy Pocket, sure. The Game Boy Color, I think they may like bundle them together. I don't know.
I think they bundled the Game Boy series together, but we'll double check that.
But it's like weird because if you do that, because there are games that only work on Game Boy Color. Which technically makes it its own thing, but I mean...
But the Game Boy Advance was backwards compatible with all the Game Boy games.
Well, yeah, the PS3 is compatible with PS1. That doesn't mean the PS1 sales get lumped in with PS3.
PS1, just keep going.
That's not how that works.
The best-selling console of all time.
Yeah, you just add up all the PlayStation sales, 1 through 5.
Yeah. No, just 1 through 3. Just 1 through 3.
1 through 3. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, you can just download them from the damn store, so you can technically play Crash Bandicoot 1.
Or you could stream it, right? On PlayStation Now. There you go.
No.
Boom. Done.
No,
all right.
no.
Boom. Console war's over, baby.
Console war's over.
Console of all time, the PlayStation.
And Dan Robinson can die a happy man.
I can just have a big smile on my face. Boom.
Oh my God.
You know what puts a smile on my face? I'll tell you
that?
what. We got a teaser from AEW teasing a major video game announcement. November 20th.
Oh yeah. That
will put a smile on my face.
We talked about this a bit when the whole fiasco with 2K21, the wrestling game that was put out. Well, it was started to be developed by Ukes, and then they switched midstream to a different developer, and it all just went to pot. And we were
Well,
like,
it wasn't
what
a
is...
different developer. It was the same developer that was helping Ukes, but now they had to, they were on.
They had to
sort of
finish the whole thing, yeah.
Yeah,
and
it didn't work out so
Ukes was putting tape and glue over this thing for the longest because they kept trying to have them churn them out year after year, and it just like, code on top of code on top of code, so much like legacy stuff. And they tried.
They stopped innovating, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was. I mean, the innovation in those WWE games stopped a long time ago. I think like the best one was like 2013,
right?
And after that, it just went downhill.
And we were kind of positing what is like Ukes going to do now. Are they going to work on a different wrestling franchise? And I think we threw out like, hey, it'd be great if they did like an AEW style game, right? Because
we got the 1 year anniversary of AEW 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So and they announced that they were leaving around the same time. Right,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like
interesting.
Could they be making a AEW video game? Because
Mm-hmm.
AEW, brand new. Sort of the competition to WWE, right? They need their NWO angle to really push WWE to be better creatively.
Mm-hmm.
And I can go on and on about wrestling because I love wrestling, but AEW announced they have their toy line. They just announced a couple of months ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they have action figures, which I need to get. I need to get a couple of. I'm not a big action figure collector, but I do have WWF, WWE, WCW, ECW, TNA. So I definitely want to get a couple of action figures just to have.
They got some good wrestlers in AEW, right? It's Chris Jericho's baby.
Chris Jericho is the biggest name they have.
Yeah. But they got some good talent in there who knows how to wrestle. They're not just like little jobbers. So it's good to see. When I see like clips online, I'm like, okay, I'm definitely about this.
Their second show is totally on YouTube. Like AEW Dark is a YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. Right? They have it all on YouTube. But nice. I am super excited to see an AEW game, and hopefully it pushes the. This is what I want to see. It's not that I just want to see an AEW game. I want to see. We got a WWE Brawl game, right? That came.
Which
it was terrible. It was terrible.
Pretty terrible.
It was a money grab. It was terrible.
Well, considering there's only 6 characters at the start, yeah.
Yeah, I know they just put an update where you can get Goldberg and stuff, and I'm not paying for any of that. You
have to pay for it, all right? Yeah, no, it's terrible.
And I'm not grinding for that either. Like they make the grind
why would
crazy.
you? Why would you?
So this is what I want. I want a regular WWE game, and I want an AEW game, but then I want side games that are different, right? I want some creativity like we had before with when there was a different WWE game for the Gamecube than it was for the Xbox, and then it was for
they were doing 3 different ones a year. That was crazy time. And they were all like completely different. Like Xbox had the WrestleMania. No, GameCube had the WrestleMania thing. Xbox had Raw, I think maybe.
Xbox had Raw.
And SmackDown was the PlayStation
SmackDown
one.
Had PlayStation, and GameCube had Day of Reckoning 2, and WrestleMania.
And the WrestleMania one, yeah. And they were all like...
WrestleMania 21 came out for the Xbox.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a bit of a bridge too far. Like I was always questioning why they did that. Why didn't they just take the SmackDown property and put it on all 3? But because I thought the SmackDown was like the strongest of the 3, right?
Yeah, and they ran that into the ground, right?
I mean, over time, sure, but I mean, it was a strong property. Like I like
WWE Raw. I like WWE Raw. I thought that was WWF at the time. I like the Raw games on Xbox. This is what I want. I just want a different. Give me the traditional sort of game, right? And then give me something different on the side as like a side game, right? Sure. Maybe for the Switch. Maybe the Switch game is different than the PlayStation 5 and Series X games.
Well, like the Brawl game was supposed to be that, right? They wanted to take it in like a different direction.
The Brawl game. I don't think they have enough development time for a traditional WWE game, right? Because Ukes wasn't involved. So I think they just came up with Brawl as sort of like a stopgap to get some money, right?
But the idea is solid, right? Take the wrestling genre, right? Amp up the craziness, make them all like super deformed, like, you know, big old muscles and kind of squat and whatever, and throw a bunch of characters in there and make it look cartoony and pretty.
We didn't have the entrances. That was one of the main reasons why you buy a game like this, because you want to see the crazy entrances.
All right. So I mean,
and they just all came down in a casket, or they came down in a box, and that was it, right? And then they just went down and walking down the aisle. That was
cheaping out on the presentation. Yeah.
Yes. I felt
you need the theme music, you need the videos, you need the big Trinitrons and the.
Tell people, I'm never one to tell people not to buy a game, but unless this game is like $15 on Black Friday, don't buy this game.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. You know, I suspect Black Friday is going to be big this year, so I'm going to be going ham with my bank account.
I could have waited, but I didn't.
Well. Who knew?
So,
who knew? I was excited for it, so I was about to buy it too, but you were like, nah. So I'm gonna wait.
So Dave, it's that time of the show, okay? The time of the show where we always try to start the show but epically fail. Dave, what have you been playing?
Oh, I've been getting into my Switch. I've been getting into my PS4. A couple of pickups finally came through. Got my physical of the Untitled Goose game.
Ooh.
I am wreaking havoc as the goose. It's fantastic. I am playing Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe. It's my first time playing it, so it's brand new to me.
You played a Wii U game?
Did not play the Wii U game. Didn't play the Luigi version. So it's beautiful. I love it.
Do you have the Wii U versions?
I think I have the Mario one. Yeah, I think I have the first one. But I mean, my Wii U is. It's just dust. It's a bad time. I don't even know if it's plugged in.
Probably not.
No. And also I'm trying to complete Final Fantasy 12 because that game is long and there's a lot to it. So
on the PS4,
I'm trying to kind of bust through that. Yeah, that's the remaster, which gives you a fast forward button, which is key. You can get past the battles pretty quick and get to the story bits if you need. Makes it very easy to grind. But yeah. So how about you?
I've been playing I've been all over the place. I've been playing a lot of games just to see what's going to capture my interest right now because I have nothing that's grabbing me. Speaking of grabbing, I just grabbed Pikmin 3 DX for the Switch.
Nice.
So I played maybe like an hour of that. So not a lot. I just got it yesterday, right? Mm-hmm. I played Control on the Switch. Now, this is how that works. It streams to the Switch, so you need to be in a dedicated area where you have internet, right? Wireless internet. You need to have good internet, too. And it's free at first. And it's free at first because they want to make sure that you have good internet to play it. Okay?
Well, that's,
so they don't want
definitely good of them.
They don't want you to buy it. It's only $40. They don't want you to buy it and then you can't play it because you can't stream it.
Right.
So I think I didn't even get past the tutorial, to be honest.
Yeah.
I thought it would be sort of like a time limit, but maybe it's just a test limit, right? To test how good your internet is. Because I just got into tutorial, which is like maybe 10 minutes in the game, if even. And I got into the training session when it stopped and said, "Oh, all right, you have good internet, so if you want to continue, you got to pay $40." Right.
It's probably right after the training demo. Yeah.
No. In the middle of not even in the middle. I just begun the training. I just got the gun to learn how to shoot.
And then they cut it off.
Not even shoot. It just used my force powers, right? Because I always said Control is like a dark Star Wars, right? You have dark force powers.
Yeah.
I'm just learning how to use my force powers, and it just stops. Right? So I'm not even 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, if even in the game, and it says you got to pay $40.
How's the lag with the?
I didn't see any lag.
Really?
Because I was in a place with really good internet, but I didn't see. I was home, so I didn't see. I have really good internet at home, so I didn't see any lag. And again, I played 10 minutes, if even. So I don't think that's a good, judge right there. A good sample size.
Are you gonna get it though, or?
No, not getting it.
No
physical edition.
You just wanted to try it out.
I just wanted to try it out.
Okay.
Yeah. Come on. I'm boycotting the digital future that's coming.
but you're not opposed to trying it out.
I'm not opposed for a free demo. No.
Fair enough.
Speaking of free demos, I've been playing. I played a lot of. You're talking about something that's keep going and going. The Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity demo is out, and it's fantastic, and it's long. Like I still haven't reached the point where it'll cut me off. So I just stopped cold turkey. I said I'm just gonna stop. I'll buy it when it comes out. I think the saves over, but I don't care. I want to do it over again.
I think it does. Yeah, I think it carries over, which is great.
So I've been playing that. That's been fantastic.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. I need to download that.
I've been playing God of War, the original, first one, on the Vita.
Oh, shit.
All right, yeah, I got bust that out the Vita. I've been really Vita and Switch heavy, so on the go. So I've been playing God of War on the Vita. Graphically, not as good, but I'm still impressed that they got this game in on a handheld. Say I'm 3 hours in, so I'm about halfway through the game. Fantastic game. I may talk about it. It may be one of my games for Saturday Morning Retro Show that I really want to talk about and get into. I don't know yet. Been playing Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 on the Vita.
Nice.
So, after playing Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite that came out Gen 8, terrible. I needed a good Marvel vs. Capcom game. And this one is pretty good. Yeah,
Infinite was Infinite wasn't bad. It had some budgetary issues.
And I've been playing a lot of my PlayStation 3. So I've been playing Thor on PS3. I wanted to play Thor on the Wii. But
oh God.
I didn't want to use the nunchuck and all that stuff. Even though Thor on the Wii has I think 2 extra levels that were exclusive to Nintendo.
To the Wii version.
The Wii version.
Okay.
Which is why I got it. I got it on a recommendation to get the Wii version, and then I found out I needed to use the nunchuck, and I was like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not doing any of that. I don't want to do that. So I bought the PS3 version.
All right.
Recently, and I've been playing through that. And Sonic 3 on the PS3.
From the digital store?
No, Sega. Remember they had a compilation of a bunch of Genesis games on the PS3 and 360.
The Sonic Mega Collection or something. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been playing that.
Sonic 3 I think is my favorite. Well, actually Sonic Mania is probably my favorite, but Sonic 3 was my favorite.
I have no nostalgia for Sonic 3 because I didn't play it.
It's fantastic, man. Michael Jackson did the soundtrack.
I got Knuckles. I got the Sonic and Knuckles card, and I had that with Sonic 2, but I never got Sonic 3 when I was a kid. I have no nostalgia for it. I don't even like it that much, to be honest. I'm a sucker for Sonic 2. I think that's the best game. But it's more traditional, right? You go through the two different levels, and then you hit the boss battle, right? No mini boss battles. I don't.
Right.
I wasn't a big fan of that.
Right.
But I will say I got a couple of gamer griefs.
Oh boy!
Right? This is the time in the show we haven't had one in a while. But
what do you got? What do you got, Dan? What do you got on the block?
Crash Bandicoot 4 is hard as fuck. Like unfairly hard. I gotta say I'm 90% through the game. It's unfairly hard. I gotta protest this shit.
It's just like the originals. It's just like the originals.
Fairly hard.
Right? It's just like the originals.
It's just unfair. I gotta jump, slide, swing, hang, twist, all in sequence. No, unfair. I'm sorry. I give up. I
think you just need to get good at the game, and I'm not even saying that sarcastically. I think you just need to practice a little bit.
Dave, we've been doing the show a long time. We don't have a lot of rated R shows, but I just want to say this with love. Fuck you. I am not. This game is hard.
You gotta get good, man. Come on. Listen, if it takes you 4 years to beat it, that's fine.
This game is unfairly hard. I am not going back to this game. I'm not going back. I'm just not. It was fantastic for a while, and then at the end, it just was unfair.
Listen, not every game is meant to be beaten. All right, some games are meant to be played a little bit and then put down.
This game was fantastic until you get to the end. Oh my god, this game was fantastic.
Okay,
it's just ridiculous. And then I got a GameStop gamer grief. So remember, I told you a couple of weeks ago I got the 3 Cyberpunk 2077 Tentacle figurines. The guy GameStop told me there were 4 that came out, and the first one was sold out, which was like the boss in the game.
Right.
So I said, oh, okay. So I've been looking for it ever since, right? It's just one. Maybe I can find it at a GameStop, or maybe you'll see how much it costs on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't exist. I've looked on GameStop website. I've
Not
looked
a
at all the
it's not
Tataku
it's not a thing.
figurines. I looked at all the Tataku figurines that came out. It's not there. I looked on eBay, right? It's got to be on eBay. It's got to be on eBay, right?
You would think someone would be selling it.
Tataku figures.
Yeah.
And the same 3 figures keep popping up in the 3 that I have, right?
Wow.
You would think if there was a 4th one, it was sold out. It would be on eBay for $100. I don't see it. The only figure I see for the bad guy is a regular action figure.
Maybe that's what he was talking about. Maybe that's what he was talking about.
Yeah, well, you know what? He misled me. I've been for weeks trying to look for this damn thing, and I don't think it exists. I don't think it exists.
Yeah.
And he touted, "Oh man, you almost got all of them." No, I got all of them. I got all 3.
Listen, they have the Johnny Silverhand statue.
I don't want this. I saw that. I don't want that.
Yeah, you can get this. You can get this nice $50 tall statue of like Johnny Silverhand, and there you go. Then you'll have 4 figurines. It'll be super tall, but
figure. It's just a big figure. I don't want that. I want the Tataku figures.
Look,
so
it still looks good.
He was wrong. He misled me.
It still looks good.
I'm mad. It was a grief. I actually sat here and looked for it for days.
Well,
and I just realized it doesn't exist. He lied.
Well, I feel for you, Dan. I feel for you.
All right. Well, on that note, why don't we take a break? And when we come back, we're getting to the top gaming news of last week.
What's up, everyone? This is Lily Zaldivar from Viz Media, and you're listening to the Rated G for Gamers podcast.
And we're back. All right, let's get into the top gaming news of last week. We have to start with Generation 9. It's here. It's here. When you listen to this show, the Xbox will be out. The Xbox Series will be out.
Yep.
It launches when this show goes live.
Mm-hmm.
I figured we can just go through. There's no Metacritic scores for hardware for some weird reason. Okay. But I figured we go through IGN's sort of Metacritic scores for both systems.
Mm-hmm.
So the Series X got an 8. Everyone loves the quick resume feature, which so far is just an Xbox thing, right? Which is awesome, and that really works if you only really utilize that if you have a lot of digital games in mind, right? So you and that makes sense if you're an Xbox user and you have Games Pass, right? So you have like 3 games that you've been playing, right? You can quick resume into exactly where you left off, where you paused, right?
That's pretty key.
If you have physical games, that doesn't work so much. Work so much.
Right. Because you got to swap the discs out, and there's a little bit of manual interaction to get your game up and running. Yeah. So we won't see the full benefit of that, right? Because we're all physical, but
we're physical, so we definitely won't see the full benefit of that. I mean, it will if the game is already in there, and maybe we're playing like maybe an Xbox Live game, right? That's free with Xbox Live. But it got an 8, which is a good score. I will say this: the Switch, when the Switch first came out, I think got like a 6 or a 7 from IGN.
I think you're right. I'm pretty sure we talked about it.
And then they re-reviewed it later on with Nintendo Online and all the new features that you could use, and then they gave it like I think they gave it an 8.5 or something.
I mean,
along those lines.
I will say that when the Switch first came out, it was lacking some things. I think it's still lacking some things in terms of the UI and what you can do with it. You can't customize it. You can't have a chat during any of the games. That's still not a thing.
Chat only on Fortnite.
Yeah, I know. Gonna be select games only, but we're getting away from the main story. So an 8 is like pretty solid, right?
8 is great. 8 is great.
Considering that whatever they have issues with, right? And obviously the consoles are comparably powerful, so they're going to be like, power is not going to be an issue, right? But like the UI, it may overheat. You may have I think
another
fans.
thing is the UI is the same, right? Is exactly the same. There's no real transition with the UI. I think I could like the update they did to the UI the way it looks now. They could have just saved that for the Series X, right? Not put it on the Xbox One X.
Yeah.
At least.
But I mean, it makes it kind of so when you like boot up both systems, you know exactly where everything is, and it makes it less special. It makes it less special.
Then wait until the Series X is launched, then just put the UI out for everything. If that's the case.
Yeah, because then you get this nice big surprise. Here's a new thing, right? Yeah, I get
it makes
that.
it feel like a new thing. This makes it too familiar, where you feel like you're playing the same thing.
Right. There's like not enough new to it. Yeah.
So the Series S, which is technically a different type of machine, right? Has different specs. They gave it.
It is a slightly lower powered system. Yeah.
They gave it a 7.
Which makes sense.
They did give it a 7, and I think one of the major issues they had with it is the storage. Because if you wanted to buy that proprietary Xbox expansion pack,
the little Seagate expansion,
it's like $300, $250. You might as well just buy a Series X.
It's $219.
Yeah, you might as well buy a Series X for the increased price. So I think that.
Well, I mean, like, wait. The actual storage is a terabyte on both, right?
Well, as you like to tout. It's not really a terabyte.
It isn't really a terabyte on either system, yeah.
On any system, any
right?
System,
because of the OS. The OS is
anything
in there,
you get, anything you get, not just consoles, anything you get. It's not actually a terabyte,
right? Because they need storage for the OS, and a little bit of extra to kind of have just a little bit of headroom, or use as like hot swap storage,
I think in the review, he said he pretty much loaded up like 5 games, and then his storage was like done.
Yeah.
So, if you want to get, and you want to use that quick resume feature, an external hard drive is not going to work. You need that expansion pack, which is $220, right?
Right.
So for that added price, you might as well just buy Series X. I mean, what's the difference? You could buy digital, and you have the option to get physical if you want.
You know what's interesting about this is Xbox is supposed to offer the smart delivery, right? And it's only supposed to download or install the a certain set of textures, right? So on the Series S, you don't need, or they're not going to, they shouldn't be delivering the high-res 4K textures and the whatever else. You'll get like the 1080 version or whatever it is, right? Which is obviously going to be smaller. And it doesn't look like they're doing that, right? When you look at like Call of Duty Cold War, 235 gigs on the S. Yeah, on the S. So I don't know if smart delivery is supposed to work differently than we expect, but you would expect that, you would get like less storage space taken up because they're using lower quality assets. But I don't know. I don't know if that's necessarily true right now.
Series X is still a better value, right? Because again, for the the extra storage, I think it's I don't think it's a terabyte on the S from that. I think it could be
maybe a little bit less. Yeah,
it's a little bit less. I think the X has a terabyte, which isn't actual a terabyte because of the UI. But definitely, if you're gonna spend $200 extra, you might as well just get an Xbox Series X.
I mean, yeah.
PlayStation 5 also got an 8, the same as the Xbox Series X. They did say it's pretty quiet. I guess the biggest issue is the size, which contributes to it being silent, right? Because of that big form factor and the fan inside.
And the way it's kind of like angled. Yeah. It all goes hand in hand.
It really is huge. But the thing that they said they loved about the PlayStation 5, and they reviewed separately, was the DualSense. The DualSense got a 9. They
reviewed the controller as a... Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's an accessory. Yeah. Wow.
People love it. They said it's a game changer. They said that I think one of the most prominent things I read was next gen isn't that much of a graphical leap, but everything else is a leap. It's like everything caught up to the graphics, the sound,
load times, the sound,
audio for the PlayStation, and the DualSense. Everything else is a leap.
Right.
Maybe not the graphics. So everyone loves the DualSense. I am super excited to get my hands on the DualSense. And I mean, I can buy one right now. I just won't be able to use it to its capability.
Right. Yeah, the accessories are out. You can go to like Best Buy and pick up a controller or two.
So I'm super looking forward to playing a PS5 and using and using the DualSense. I mean, listen, I mean, right now Xbox doesn't have any real exclusives, right? Only Yakuza Like a Dragon, which is a timed exclusive.
Yeah.
At that, but Spider-Man Miles Morales has got a 9 from IGN. And I think it's like at an 8.5 on Metacritic or 8, if I'm not mistaken. It's up there. Last time I checked Metacritic. So everyone loves Spider-Man Miles Morales. Everyone loves the DualSense with it. So that's why I don't want to buy it for PS4, because you can buy it on the PS4. I want to buy it. I'm gonna wait and buy it on the PS5.
Oh, of course,
It's about I think they said it's about an 8 or 9 hour campaign.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be quick.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of quick.
Right, because the original Spider-Man, the PS4 Spider-Man was at least plus all the extra like little bonus stuff that you could do on top of that.
Did you ever 100% it? You said you were trying to. You never got back to me.
I did say I was trying to 100% it. I got to 75-80%, and I think I have like a mission or two to beat. So to answer your question, no.
Okay.
I have not beaten it yet.
Because you were touting that you were going to beat it and you're going to 100% it. It's going to be your first platinum trophy.
I know. I was getting pretty close.
And then you just stopped talking about it.
Something else got in the way.
Well, since the launch is here, right? There's a lot of people are going to have to get creative. A lot of retailers are going to have to get creative, right? Because of the zombie apocalypse is still here. Doesn't matter. We have a new president. The sunshine. We got daylight saving times, which is still stupid. Everything went back an hour, but the zombie apocalypse is still here. Mm-hmm. So, certain retailers, like in England, right? England is shut down due to the zombie apocalypse. Certain retailers are sort of, if you pre-ordered the system, like the Xbox Series X, you have to schedule to come pick it up instead of just going and waiting in line. And PlayStation, Sony has said that the systems will not be out in stores launch day. You're gonna have to buy them online.
They put a kibosh on my plans. I literally took the day off. I was gonna Iron Man it, and I was gonna wait outside in the freezing cold and go and pick up a system on the day. But now I can't do that.
Oh, that sucks. Well, kind of. Well, we did say we said originally we would do a midnight launch, and then
and I was keeping good on my word.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. You can do that. The zombie apocalypse, I'm good.
That's fine. Everyone's going to be 6 feet apart,
No, they're not. I have colleagues that are going to buy this for me, so I'm all good.
We'll see.
I think if you can limit it to one purchase online, I think that should be fine, right? Like
they are. I mean that's like a bare line minimum. But that's how it was with the pre-order.
Was it? I thought you could pre-order too. You could pre-order too.
Well, maybe you could get the digital and the non-digital.
Okay.
I don't know.
Gotcha.
But they were definitely kind of locking that down. It wasn't a matter of that. It was more a matter of they couldn't handle the influx of user traffic. That was like the real problem. They just had way too many people hammering their system. So much so that some of the websites went down because they didn't really optimally prepare for it. Where like Amazon like thought ahead and they disabled the page until it was ready to go because they knew people would keep refreshing. So they like turned it into a 404 page and you just see all the dogs of Amazon and everyone's like, "What's up?" And it's like, no. They're like mitigating the extra traffic coming through. So.
If you can go outside and wait in a cult at midnight,
I can't.
Keep hitting refresh. You can keep. I'm just saying, if you could do that, you could just sit at home and open the window, maybe put the AC on to mimic the cold that you have to wait on.
I don't need to recreate the outside environment. I would love to do it from the safety and sanctity of my own home, where it's nice and warm and I have a comfy couch. But the thing of it is, everybody else is going to be doing the same thing, right? I could just endurance my way to get a system, but now I can't. So that's why I'm upset.
Listen, do some finger exercises so you can refresh quick. You could do refresh quick. Yeah, exercises.
Look, my internet's good.
Do some push-ups on your index finger. Do some push-ups on your index finger. Come on, go do some training. I got a couple of days to get my body ready. Yes.
Okay.
Well, you can buy that. You know what you can't buy right now? Mm-hmm. That is custom PS5 plates, because we never talked about this. I didn't bring this up on the show, but there was a website where it's like plate plate stations, right, or PlayStation Plates.com,
Yep.
and it
Yeah,
looked like
PlayStation.
an official PlayStation website that sold custom side panels for the PS5, right? And it even said side panels for the PS5.
Yep.
They said that they took down all the PS5 advertising because they heard from Sony's lawyers, but now they have to take down the whole website. It's all down, so they can't sell it. They weren't officially licensed with Sony, which is the whole reason why that Sony took them down. Because I'm sure at some point in the life cycle of the original PS5, because we will get revisions eventually, they will have officially licensed custom plates that you could put on, just like Hori is officially licensed to do controllers and stuff for Nintendo and Sony, right?
Now, can you not? I may be a little naive about this, but aren't there unlicensed third-party peripherals for systems, and they're able to put that out?
I'm sure they are, and I'm sure some people don't care because it doesn't directly interfere with what they're doing. But if Sony has plans to do this, right,
Which they do, they have custom faceplates coming.
It's like all right, let's do it first. And then later on, then you could put out your third party unlicensed crap later on.
So that's
we're
the
not going
bigger
to care
issue.
because we have a foothold in the market.
That's the bigger issue. Well, I remember this. I don't know if you remember the custom faceplates for the 360, right?
Oh yeah,
because they tried this already.
I have a GTA 4.
Really?
Yeah, I have GTA 4 custom plate. I actually bought it so I can put it on the original Xbox 360 so it can look nice in the collection. And no, I have Death Smile, that shmup. I have the special edition that has
and that comes with the faceplate too. Yeah, they abandoned that like real quick. Like it was supposed to be like a thing, and you get all these custom faceplates, and that ended super quick. So
the PS4, the original PS4. You can put custom faceplates on the top of it too, and I have a Little Big Planet one. Yeah,
I did not even realize you could do that.
Yeah.
So there you go. This is not going to stick around.
Too.
Yeah, it's not going to stick around very long because nobody cares. Everyone just wants to play the video game.
That's not true. Because when we first saw the PlayStation 5, all you saw was mock-ups of special editions with different plates that people were talking about they want to have. So Sony probably saw the demand. If there's demand, Sony would do it. There was no demand on the PS4 because it looked stupid.
All right,
there was no demand on the 360 because everybody was just happy to play the game, right? It was the biggest leap we've ever had in games at the time. Right, and the focus was on playing the games, and not to mention the Red Ring of Death. So no one wanted to custom faceplate the system they're gonna have to send in for repairs.
Yeah, fair enough.
This, which is everyone talks about it looking like a giant router. I think people are gonna want to do custom faceplates for this. But my question is, how did they get I looked, the dimensions for it aren't up as far as because the faceplates. If you look at all the teardowns. It has like 5 or 7 different notches in it that you have to put in it in certain places so it can really hold on to the system. So how did they even get the schematics?
They definitely have specs kicking around somewhere. Like
they get the schematics. That's crazy.
They probably know somebody on the inside, maybe. Because you're right. It does need to be pretty accurate for it to like clip into place and snap, and you don't want like a Chinese knockoff where it's like it doesn't quite fit and it slides around and all that. You want it to be like precise for what it is.
You want it to be in there pretty snug, right?
Yeah. It looks like they're back up again with it's customizemyplates.com, and they
found a way around it.
They have a Stardust PS5 console skin, a Fury Red, and an Armored Black. Those are the four options that you can buy right now.
You can get it on and you can have it on launch day.
That's right.
Yeah, don't want any of that stuff. I like to use the original stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about things you won't be able to do. Again, I told you I'm boycotting the all digital feature. Boycotting it
for as long as possible.
Friday the 13th, the game. It's getting its final update, and it's going to close its dedicated servers this month. So, I think you can still play the game. It would just be AI. You would play with the AI, and you won't be able to play multiplayer with your friends because the servers are going to be down.
Yep.
So.
Yep. which just means if you're playing on PC, because I don't know how you do it on console per se. Well, if you're playing on PC, someone can just spin up their own server, and you can kind of, rework the game a little bit and connect to these, third-party servers or whatever, and keep the game going that way. But
well, technically, remember Dreamcast still, has an underground following where they have dedicated servers you can play like. Not Final. I almost said Final Fantasy. Fantasy Star.
Fantasy that's
Star
right.
Online,
that's right. Yeah.
People still play that.
Right.
Right.
It's classic.
Audience for that.
It's classic.
Well, speaking of classics, Sega. Love Sega. We talked about playing Sonic 3, right?
That's right.
One of the games we're playing. The zombie apocalypse has hit them really hard, right? I think a lot of their arcades are down too, right? Because obviously can't socially distance an arcade, right? You're being in an open area.
It's tough,
Yeah, it's tough. So they've taken a big financial hit, which is why recently Sega has asked 650 employees to voluntarily retire, and they've cut executive salaries, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, WWE, we talk about wrestling, bringing it full circle, they fired like 40% of their staff, right? But made record high profits. They made record high profits.
Of course, people still want to see it. They just kind of, they put it down to a skeleton crew. They said, this is what we need to put on a show, and they made it happen.
So I'm just saying, in May, they reported record high profits, right? But then fired half their staff. So
yeah,
just putting it out there for perspective, right? If they would have just taken take 10%, they said if you took 10% of that record high profits, everybody could have kept their job.
Yeah,
putting it out there.
Yeah, it's not how it works, Dan. But businesses are amoral, and all they care about is money. All right, that is their bottom line. All right, especially if there's shareholders involved. It's very much their bottom line.
But look at this. Sega, instead of firing everybody, right, they went to the older staff, and they're trying to get the older staff to retire, over almost 1,000, right, 650, and all executives get their salaries cut.
Right.
Right. And didn't Nintendo do something similar to this when they had like some financial troubles, woes with the Wii U, right?
Yes.
The staff, the high executives, took pay cut.
They ended up taking a pay cut to kind of help save the company a little bit. Sure, they did. Yeah. And the thing of it is, like, this is going to work because Japanese culture, obviously very different than our culture. They're very reverential to their elders, right? So obviously these asks are coming from up on high. And, you need to treat your elders with respect and authority. And, you kind of almost can't say no. I think it would be a real big slap in the face, right? So not that they're like going to strong arm these people necessarily, but I think that's kind of their culture in their way.
Package. I'm sure they're getting a good.
I'm sure they have a good severance package too. I'm not saying anything about that, but I think they are gonna actually go through and do, and kind of step down from their like position to go, okay, I know this is for the good of the company. This is what I have to do, and I'm being asked to do this by like an elder. So I think a lot of them are just gonna kind of do that. Which sucks.
Let me take it from a different perspective. So I don't know the different positions that these 650 people are coming from.
Right.
Are they from a creative position? Are they corporate? Or are they, developers? Like, where is this coming from? Because, as things go on and progress and get better, a lot of the younger people, I'm going to say, are going to start taking over. Right. And again, is this from a developer and a creative standpoint where we get more young blood that's in there that are going to create new games and and build upon what we already have or what they had in the hopper already, right? Because we don't know what they've been working on. There's been rumors of the next Sonic game that was supposed to be announced at their 60th birthday event celebration, but so they got put on hold, right? Or I think next year at some point they're supposed to announce another Sonic game. So I was just kind of curious. The 650 people, they're going to get to replace them in some type of capacity. Maybe not each and every single one of them, but, taking that responsibilities is going to be passed on to younger generation of workers. I just want to know what capacity are they working in, and how do you think that may change going forward, the company, right? So.
It's a good question. I mean, I guess we'll kind of see what kind of shakes out of this, you know, how many people they actually end up laying off or who voluntarily step down. And, you know, hopefully they don't really like shelve or kill any big projects. But maybe that's kind of what they're looking at, right? Well, we can only handle like 2 or 3 big projects right now as opposed to like 4, 5, or 6. So, yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
We are for a company that's sort of, you know, doing good by the people and its employees to a company that maybe not historically is looked upon as that does good for its employees or the people. And they're in the news for just that with their employees. So GameStop wanted to boost morale, which is a good thing. That's a good thing. They wanted to boost morale.
On its face, for sure. On its face,
yes,
it is.
In a bubble, right? They wanted to have a dance contest, which is okay, awesome. That sounds cool. Like at Circuit City when we worked together, I don't think you ever did the morning shift, but I did the morning shift. And the ops manager, the store manager was never there in the morning. He didn't wake up that early, right? Because he's really going there to help sell TVs, which is what was the big money maker in the store.
Right.
But the ops manager, who's there overnight getting inventory through the truck, he opens the store historically, usually, right? And in the morning to get everybody up and amped, we would play games. We would play football, basketball. We never had a dance contest or anything, but we always played some type of game. And the winner got to go out and pick a DVD of your choice.
Oh, so, yeah. I was there for a couple of those. Yeah.
I want to say half my DVD collection that I have in the box is because I got it for free.
Those morning games.
I won it at Circuit City because I opened the store every Saturday. So, and I worked there for 5 years. So I got a lot of DVDs because we won a lot, especially in the morning when we're playing football. I'm going for my free Dawn of the Dead DVD. Okay. But on its face, having a dance contest, I would be dancing with the GameStop, right?
Dancing Dan.
Dancing with the GameStop dancing. But and they had prizes, obviously. One of the prizes was controversial. And when I thought about it, I was like, this is stupid. They actually were, number one prize was 10 hours, extra hours you can work on Black Friday. One, who the hell wants to work on Black Friday? Especially now. All right? That's the worst time of the year to work.
Yeah, we did it, and it was terrible.
It was terrible. Okay? Yeah. If they said I had Black Friday off, I would say awesome. Okay, I'll work the next day. I don't want to work actual Black Friday because you open at 10. You open at I remember. I mean, we kept open early and early. We opened at 6, then we opened at 5, and then we opened at 4 one year. It was ridiculous. So this really should be left to the manager in each individual store, who can manage the hours of his staff because he knows his staff, right? And if you're someone who's you're not. First of all, what if you don't even want to play this game? What if you want to dance? Not everybody played football with us in the morning. Some people said, you know what, I don't care. You're not going to
get those Black Friday hours.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be up to doing a stupid little game that I don't want to do. It should be my performance on the floor.
Yeah,
I'm really good at my job. Or I really need the money.
All of this is terrible, right? Their intentions at the start, you're like, all right, maybe they're like, okay, they're going to boost morale, they're going to have a dance contest, it's going to be fun. And then you realize that people's paychecks are on the line here, right? So it's not like, oh, the district manager is going to give you 10 hours for your store because you need it, or, you've been performing really well and you're like, all right, we'll give you some more hours for your employees, right? That's how that usually goes, right? Not that, well, here's a company-wide dance contest, which ridiculous to begin with. And then
I'm okay with that.
It's
Dancing
your paycheck.
With the GameStop.
It's your
Dancing
paycheck.
with the GameStop. I'm okay with that. That sounds cool, funny, silly.
But
that could boost morale.
But they're tying it to your paycheck, though. Essentially,
I know.
At the end of the day,
dumb part.
That's the problem.
The dumb part.
That's the problem. So
don't do that.
So so there's a follow up on this already. So by the time we reported this, they've already reversed their whole dance contest, and they're no longer doing the dance contest, right?
Well, as fast as this story went up, is as fast as GameStop took it.
Yeah, so they got a lot of flack right away, and they acted on it right away, and they're no longer doing that, which is good because it was ridiculous to begin with. I don't know who greenlit that. I don't know who greenlit this whole initiative or whatever, this dance contest thing, but yeah, they got to go. They got to go.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. But
it's terrible.
I want to end with this because this is hilarious, and I feel for this person. This is also terrible, but you got to admit it's a little funny if you think about it. This Australian person pre-ordered or swears he pre-ordered an Xbox Series X. He has the receipts to prove it, and they sent him an Xbox One X. And we talked about this when the pre-orders, that some people are actually accidentally pre-ordering the Xbox One X, thinking it was a Series X. But in this case, he says no. He swears up and down. He has the receipts,
right?
Because he's an Xbox All Access member. He has the receipts. He pre-ordered the Series X, and they sent him the Xbox One X.
Oh,
I don't know if it's just a simple thing of confusion with the different X's, because there's a lot of different X's in the Xboxes.
Yeah, I mean,
the naming convention could be better.
Well, I mean, stuff gets shipped incorrectly to the wrong address or the wrong item to the right person all the time. So, it could be a 1X Series X situation. It could be, they just put the wrong thing in the box. It certainly happens. I just hope this guy gets a Series X. That's what I hope. I hope they work it all out.
Do you think he has to ship back his Xbox One X though?
Of course, they're not going to give him something for free. No.
Anyway, sorry for the confusion. You get to keep both.
Yeah. Well, funny story. Speaking about keeping stuff. When I ordered a couple of folding tables from Amazon, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and one of them came all busted up, right? It had a crack in the middle. So I was talking to customer service, and long story short, they're like, yeah, you can just keep them, and we'll refund your money. I said, what? Yeah, they're like, here you go. So I got 2 white folding tables for free. So you never know, but I think he's going to have to ship his back, and then they'll just get him a Series X. I just hope it's before the year ends, Hope he gets it before Christmas.
Well, listen, he pre-ordered it. That means one of those boxes in that warehouse is his.
Yeah. Sure.
So, all right. Why don't we take another break? When we come back, we'll get into our interview with our special guest, RetroWolf88.
And we're back. We have special guest on the show, Matt, a.k.a. RetroWolf88. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. I really appreciate it.
It was a long time coming. We've been trying to get you on the show for a long time. We just couldn't match up the schedules.
Hey, I'm a patient guy, so no worries there.
Well, happy to be here. Hope everything's going well, given the crazy 2020 year. And I know that you have a very successful YouTube channel, right? You have a retro game channel, a review channel, a channel where you play games with your mom. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So my channel, RetroWolf88 on YouTube, real easy to find. It's really a variety of different content. I don't stick to any one type of video. I like to have a variety because not only do I feel like, it keeps it more interesting for me, keeps it from getting boring for me, but I feel like it keeps it from getting boring for my audience as well. But yeah, I've got, I do a lot of retro gaming content, especially centered around the Gamecube because I have a complete North American Gamecube collection. And the Gamecube is one of my favorite older consoles, so I do a lot of videos centered around the Gamecube and the games. But I also do, hidden gem videos on other retro consoles. I do pickup videos. I do cover the Switch quite a bit as far as the modern side goes. Every now and then I'll dip my toes into other modern consoles like the PS4. But I mainly stick with the Switch simply because it's the console that I'm playing the most this generation. Of course, I've got the Mama Retro, as you mentioned, the Mama Retro videos where I sit down with my mom and play games, which when you first hear that, you think to yourself, well, that doesn't sound that interesting. But the thing about it is my mom is very eccentric and she's hilarious, and the way she reacts to video games makes for a very interesting video, and our banter back and forth, and she physically abuses me during the video. So yeah, just a variety of content centered around mostly retro gaming with some modern stuff sprinkled in.
I love the Halloween video with your mom.
Yeah.
I loved it when she was playing Splatterhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you keep shooting the ray gun at her. Oh,
yeah. She hated that. It was pissing her off. So that was enjoyable.
Oh, yeah. The one time my mom played a video game, like for real, she freaked out and threw the controller down. She couldn't handle it. She was playing Pac-Man for the Atari for some reason, and she got like real upset when the ghosts were coming in.
Rage quit at Pac-Man for Atari?
And she freaked out. She's like, I don't want my Pac-Guy to die. I'm like, I understand.
Listen, my mom freaked out when I put her in a PSVR headset.
Oh no.
And we went into the deep, and it was like a shark surrounding her. She threw my Move controller. All right, and she almost ran into the closet because I have like a closet right next to the TV. So I'm like, whoa, it's not real. Just relax. So I think she would freak out if I put her in Resident Evil in VR.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
And Dave beat that game on a deer. He beat it, and all in VR because I didn't think he could do it, and he did it.
Yep, that's right. I have a, and I mentioned this on the show before, but I don't think Matt. I have a big fear of chainsaws.
Oh no!
Like it's bad. So Resident Evil 4 was tough with the guys with the bags on their head and they just kind of swing. And 7 had that too. There's that iconic battle at the bottom of the first house with the dad and the dual chainsaws. And Dan was like, you have to play the whole thing in VR. I said, okay, I'm going to do it. And just, somehow, some way I powered through completely in VR.
I hate spooky games. I'm not doing that. I'm not even playing the game.
Not his jam.
I'm not playing a game in VR, outside of VR. I'm not playing a game at all. I'll play a little bit of it. That's it. I'm not going to do it. But I'm afraid of heights. So, if Flight Simulator was in VR, I'd rather play Resident Evil. I'm sorry. I'm afraid of heights. That's the one thing I'm afraid of. Definitely afraid of heights. Oh. But I got to say, I really enjoy... This is my favorite thing to watch on YouTube when it comes to retro gaming channels. And I love it on your channel. I was watching it a couple of days ago. I love hitting gems. Because I'm a collector, and I always want to know... put me on to something I don't know about. And I got to say, you put me on to this Dr. Moto game. I know it came out for the GameCube. It's more expensive for the GameCube than it is the Xbox.
It is,
so, I don't know. I got to pick that up. That should be in my pickups on the IG page in the next couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good game, man. It's pretty solid. I did an episode of GameCube Gallery on that too, where I went into a lot more detail. But it's challenging too, man. It's most 3D platformers from that era were not challenging, but that game was geared more towards adults, and it's pretty damn hard.
I'm looking forward to rage quitting. I just rage quit. I just rage quit. Crash 4. Yeah, I'm done. I'm out. I'm done. No more.
This guy can't handle a challenge. I don't know.
I'm at the end and it's unfair. I'm sorry. It's unfair. I'm just saying. You got to tell me how you like Crash 4 at some point, because I think it's unfair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard that the final stage in that level is ridiculous.
Yes, and I'm done. To me, in my view, I beat it. It's over.
Not to mention all the challenges and all the extra stuff that you can do afterwards, right? The box challenge, and I think there's time trials and all these special crystals. Like, once you beat the game, like that's like 50% of it. There's a whole nother set of stuff after that you can go for.
I have too many games to play. I don't have time for these side quests.
I know. It's too much.
Don't we all?
We're actually kind of curious. Like you mentioned on the slide that you have a full North American GameCube set. How did that come about? How did you make that happen? And is that something that you were like, this is a system I want to 100% complete. I want to get a platinum trophy in the GameCube collection.
You know, it's funny how everything comes full circle, right? So the console that got me into gaming was the GameCube. I played games before that. You know, I played NES, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo. I played all that stuff, Nintendo 64. I grew up with all that, but I wasn't really what you would call a serious gamer until the GameCube came around. That's the console that that was the spark that lit the fire in me for a love of gaming. So whenever I was younger, during that generation, I had a lot of GameCube games. I had about 60 GameCube games, and just like a lot of us do, when we're younger, we make stupid decisions. I sold most of them, got rid of most of them.
Oh man.
And it really sucks now looking back, but it is what it is. But my nephew, he had a GameCube, and he had a couple of games, and he sent me a text message one day, and he said, hey, and this was before I started collecting, I should mention that. I wasn't collecting at this point. He said, hey, I've got this GameCube if you want it, because I had mentioned to him before that I was interested in buying a GameCube and, buying some of the games that I had when I was a kid. So he gave me the GameCube for free, and that was the beginning of my collection obsession. So that started, all of my collecting habits started from that moment. And as I started collecting, I decided to myself, you know what, if I have one collecting goal, it's going to be to get every single GameCube game that was released retail in North America. So, and this was 2016 when this started. So that was it. That started it all. And, from there, I went crazy on the GameCube. I collected other stuff as well, obviously, NES, Super Nintendo, all that good stuff. But my main focus was always the GameCube. And earlier this year, I completed the collection. So it took just a little under 4 years, which, to get a complete collection like that, over 500 games, I feel like that's pretty quick. But the funny thing is, not only did the GameCube get me to start collecting again, but the collection that I built is what led me to start the YouTube channel. So that's why I say it's funny how everything kind of comes full circle. One thing leads to another, which leads to another. And, I always thinking back about how everything came together, I always kind of find that interesting.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. GameCube has a couple of expensive games now. Well, a lot of the GameCube games skyrocketed in price.
They're going up a bit. Yeah.
Quite a few did, yeah.
Who thought Disney Sport Basketball would be like $300?
Yep, that one's
that's
expensive.
The game I want. I'm not Fire Emblem fan, but I want that game.
I can only just imagine, because 90% of the Wii, and that's being generous even, maybe even 95% of the Wii library is all shovelware, Disney sports games. Which one of those, and there's already a couple that have skyrocketed. I think there's some workout game or whatever for the Wii that's worth a lot of money just because a low print run and nobody bought it or whatever. But I wonder, of that set, which ones are going to become the kind of the hidden gems in terms of price and.
Yeah, that's a good question. It's hard to say. I haven't really dug into the Wii library a whole lot outside of, the staples, all the staples that you get on the Wii. But that's a library that I'm definitely starting to dig into. So I'm hoping to find some good hidden gems that are hopefully not crazy expensive.
Yeah,
go for the Wii U right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
You too, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, GameStop's a good spot for that because they're legit trying to get rid of their Wii and Wii U. And a lot of those stores are closing, so you can kind of get them at fire sale prices, which is pretty good.
Yes,
we've definitely found some stuff here and there, kind of in the rough. But
so you mentioned that you've really been collecting for 4 years, right? 4 years now. So how big is your collection now?
I am actually up to 2,600 games now.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
nice.
So it's not too bad. Yeah, it's not too bad. And the vast majority of my collection is GameCube, NES, and Switch. Those three consoles probably make up, I would say just a bit below half my collection, maybe a little bit lower than that.
Okay, that's awesome. I thought I don't know, didn't you buy someone's collection? You did a video about that a few months ago.
I did, yeah, this year. And this is why I always tell people, you want to, anytime you go to retail game stores, you want to make contacts, because this guy, he actually used to own a retail game store in a really small town about 20 minutes away from me, a very very tiny kind of rural town, had a retro game store in the town, and I used to go there all the time and buy games. I was like one of his best customers, and eventually he sold the store. But before he sold the store, I was like, hey man, let's exchange numbers. I know you've got some games in your collection. If you ever want to sell any of them, hit me up. And one day he contacted me, and it wasn't about selling his collection. It was he had a tote full of game consoles that they had various issues with them, and he sold me the whole tote for $120, which was a good deal because I have a cousin that can repair game consoles, so that worked out pretty good. But when I bought that tote from him, he said, I'm thinking about selling my entire collection. And I'm like, well, hey, I'm definitely interested, man. Just send me some pictures. If you got a list, send me a list. Let me know what kind of price you're looking at. And man, did I get a hell of a deal, because he sold me, and I actually have not revealed how much I paid for the collection yet. So I'm going to go ahead and reveal that now. Why not?
Exclusive.
I bought exclusive, exactly.
Nice.
So I bought his entire collection for $3,000, and there were, I want to say, but it was everything you could think of: games, magazines, consoles, some toys, posters, a lot of stuff. It was mostly games though. I want to say there was probably around 2,500 items in the collection. So when you do the math, I paid pretty much less than $1 per item. And the total, when I inventoried everything and did, an estimate of the total value of the collection was around $18,000.
Wow.
So yeah, that's probably to date the best pickup that I've ever had. Obviously, I didn't keep everything in the collection. I sold duplicates, made my money back. So ultimately, I didn't pay anything, and I added a lot of games to my personal collection.
Wow,
that's
impressive.
That's fantastic. Yeah, what was like? Do you have like a good pick out of that set that you're like, I can't believe I got this? Like this is like a crown jewel of the collection. There's got to be something big, right?
Oh yeah. There was a complete in box sealed Resident Evil 2 chainsaw controller for the PlayStation 2.
Ooh, wow.
Yep.
Wow.
He didn't even open it. Wow.
Nope. Never opened. Yeah, and there were a lot of really, really rare consoles as well, like the TurboGrafx 16.
Okay.
There was a lot of good stuff console wise in there too.
Nice. It's so good when you come across those, And
Yes.
the person that's selling it to you too is like, they're happy that it's going to a good home, right? So
Yeah.
I think like both parties are pretty good about that. I know a couple of years ago, I had a coworker of mine, and me and him would talk video games and all that. And he's no longer with our company. He moved on and whatever. But he was like, "Hey, I got some old games. Would you want them?" And we kind of went back and forth for a little bit, and I left it for a while. I said, you let me know how much you want for them, and we'll work something out. And he was big on RPGs. So it was a lot of Super Nintendo, PS1, some like PS2, some heavy hitters for like a really good price. And he's like, "Look, you can have them for this." I said, "That's fantastic." I'm like, "Look, they're going to go in the collection. They're going to go to a good home." And he felt pretty good about that because he didn't know what to do with them like otherwise. So
Yeah, that's awesome. And it wasn't like I was ripping him off or anything, because he knew what his collection was worth. I mean, he ran a retro game store, so it's not like he didn't know what everything was worth, but he wanted to get rid of it. He just wanted it gone. So he wasn't interested in trying to get max retail value out of everything. So and plus, I've been shopping at his store for about 3 years before he sold it. So, me and him kind of had a little bit of a history. So it worked out, which is why I always tell people, I'll never burn bridges. Especially if you shop at a store a lot, make sure you get to know the person that owns the store, and always be friendly, because you never know what could come out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, always build relationships.
Absolutely. Yes,
Always have to build
absolutely.
relationships, especially when you want to be a retro collector.
Yes.
So Dave tells me that you were like hooked up with the Game Chasers somehow.
Yes.
How did that come about?
So, they did the Game Chasers movie Kickstarter, and I backed one of the tiers for the movie that enables you to hang out on the movie set for a couple of days. So I backed that tier, and it was at the time it was mainly because I wanted to visit Texas. I wanted to meet the Game Chasers, because those guys, I've always watched their videos. You know, they've taught me a lot about collecting over the years, so I wanted to meet those guys. But also I wanted to see what it was like to be on a movie set. So I backed that tier, and you know, Billy, I was communicating with Billy a lot throughout that whole process of backing a tier, and he let me bring a friend. So I brought a buddy of mine that lives in South Texas, and I was only supposed to be on set for 2 days, but I ended up being on set for 4 days. And you know, when I first got on set, I told Billy, I was like, hey man, listen, I know that this tier is supposed to be just me on set, just hanging out, but put me to work, man. I want to help any way I can. You know what I mean? So I got to be on set for 4 days, 12 hours each day, and I got to help the cast and the crew. I got to be an extra in a couple of scenes. I got to hang out with Billy and Jay and Eric and Beat 'em Ups, Game Dave, a lot of those guys that are kind of in that Game Chasers crew. And I even got to go out and eat dinner with Billy and Yoshi and Leon, who worked on the movie, and a bunch of other people that worked on the movie. Billy actually invited me and my friend to go eat dinner with them one night, so that was like the highlight of the experience. But being on the movie set actually changed me. It was such an awesome experience that it made me realize that that's something I could see myself doing. So now I'm starting to pursue filmmaking, which is why, I'm sure you guys have noticed that, and I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I'm sure you guys have noticed that the production values on some of my videos are a little bit higher than what you normally see in a YouTube video. And that's because of that experience. That experience got me very interested in videography and filmmaking, and I left that experience wanting to gain a bunch of knowledge, and that's what I did. I gained a bunch of knowledge, started to learn how to make a quality production as far as video, audio, all that good stuff. And that bled over into the YouTube channel, and now I'm pursuing a career in videography and filmmaking. But I want to circle back around to the Game Chasers. What you guys, and I don't know if you guys have had the chance to meet Billy or Jay in person, but I'll tell you this: what you see on the YouTube channel, that's Billy and Jay. That is them. They're not putting on a show. They're not faking. That is their personality, and they couldn't be any nicer. Just two of the nicest, coolest guys. Because a lot of times with big YouTubers like that, they may not necessarily be the person that you see on screen. They may be a completely different person in person, but that's not the case with those guys. And they were both awesome. And I mean, we could literally turn a whole podcast into me telling you stories of different things that happened on the set. If you want me to tell a specific interesting story of something that happened, I can. I'll leave that up to you. But yeah, it was just a great experience, man. And I wish that I had been able to be there for more than 4 days, but it just didn't work out.
Oh.
Well, give us one story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we would definitely love to hear it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you one, and then I'll give you a really super quick one. How about that? Okay, so let me tell you something very embarrassing that happened to me, right? So this was on the first day that I was on set. And all throughout the day, in between filming, Billy and Jay were out in a field passing a football, because this was an outdoor day, filming outdoors. They were passing football every chance they got. Once all the filming was done, me and my friend were like, hey, can we pass with you? So they're like, sure. So we passed football with them. Billy had to go off do something. So then me and Jay were passing football. And look, I used to be able to throw a spiral. I used to be able to throw a football very accurately, but I'm 32, and that was like 10 years ago. I haven't thrown a football in 10 years, so I kind of sucked. I couldn't throw a spiral. I could barely hit the target, and freaking Jay can throw a football like a bullet, man. It's a spiral every time. It comes to your chest every time. It's very impressive. Anyways,
Tom Brady arm?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Jay had to go to the bathroom, so me and my friend Gabe, we were walking back towards the road, and Billy was let me set the scene for you. So Billy was in the road, and this is like a dead end at the end of a cul-de-sac, okay? So Billy was in the road. There was a line of vehicles parked along one side of the road. At the head of the line of vehicles was a truck, and there was a group of people standing in front of the truck talking. So Billy was in the road next to these vehicles. Me and my friend Gabe, we were up on a hill above the cul-de-sac, and Billy motioned to us that he wanted to pass. So we did a few back and forths, And eventually it got back to me again. And I go to pass the football at Billy. And the football doesn't go towards Billy. The football goes right towards the group of people standing in front of the truck. So they see it. And it's like everything happened in slow motion, man. So they see the football coming towards them. They scatter. And the football bounces off of the windshield of the truck. And next thing I know, I hear one of the producers, her name is Larissa. She's like a 6 foot tall chick. She goes, and I'm not going to yell into the mic, but she was yelling. She goes, and that's why you don't throw a football on a movie set. And she goes, give me the football. So she took the football, and I kind of walk off like, nothing to see here. And then
Start
Billy,
whistling.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
Hands in the pockets, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, nothing to see here. And I just kind of sat down, and Jay comes out of the bathroom, and I'm like, Jay, I effed up, man. I effed up. The football has been confiscated. So, yeah, that was not my finest moment, but it was funny. I got a good laugh out of it, and everybody was cool. It's not like anybody was like, get off the set or anything like that.
Right.
And then the quick story I'll tell you is the second day on set, we were filming an indoor location. And in this indoor location, and I have to be kind of vague because I can't talk about a lot of stuff that I saw with the movie, but in this indoor location, there were some arcade machines. And one of them was a Pac-Man machine with a busted joystick. And Jay was just kicking ass at that Pac-Man machine. Like, he set a high score, and he announced to everybody, he said, if anybody can beat this high score, I'll give you a $100 bill. And so many people tried to beat that high score, and nobody could do it. So, Jay got the bragging rights that day. But man, it just I could keep going on and on. It was just such a great experience with a lot of awesome memories made. Met a lot of cool people, made a lot of new friends. And like I said, it changed my life because it made me want to start getting into filmmaking, which I'm heavily doing right now. So that's pretty much the gist of it.
Nice. That is fantastic. And the movie's not out quite yet, right? They're like still doing post-production on it, I think, right?
That's right. Yeah. Of course, the virus affected a lot of things because Billy had to get a lot of pickup shots done. He, while he's trying to edit the movie, he's babysitting his kid. And so, there are a lot of factors that go into it, but from what I understand, it's definitely getting close, and it's going to be, I don't think anything's official yet, but I'm pretty sure he's going to end up releasing it sometime next year, probably early next year, I would say. I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer for it, but it looks really good.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's definitely a pretty solid production, and like coming from those guys and knowing everybody involved, knowing somebody who now is in the movie, kind of makes it even that much more special. So I mean, we've been kind of tracking it for a little bit, and it looks amazing, and it's great to see. It's great to see those guys, produce kind of a feature length film coming from where they are, and like doing all that stuff, and like being able to do something that they love. And being able to get like all these, all their friends and all these people involved, like it's just it's really nice to see. So we're definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, and if I could just say one more thing, so I obviously being on set for 4 days, I saw a lot of scenes being filmed, and I can tell you this, based on what I saw being filmed and how professional and very knowledgeable the crew was that worked on the movie. I have no doubt that this movie is going to be something special. I really think that it's going to be a good movie. As a matter of fact, Billy sent it to a producer at Netflix, not to try to get it on Netflix, but just he sent a rough cut of the movie to try to get some feedback. And this producer that works on Netflix shows actually had a lot of positive things to say. He gave some constructive criticism, of course, but he had a lot of positive things to say, and it sounded like he enjoyed the rough cut of the movie. So that's even, makes me feel even better about it.
Wow, that's actually pretty good, friend to have to just take a look.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Give some insight.
Yeah, so we have, and this is kind of a thing that we've done ever since our first guest back on episode like 45. We come a long way. We've asked every guest this question, and it is It is the most important question, without a doubt, that you will ever be asked in your entire life. And we need to know, what is the greatest game of all time? Super Mario Brothers 3 or Super Mario World?
And before you answer, I just want to let you know there is a wrong and right answer.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. There is a wrong and a right answer.
Dan is wrong and I'm right. And
If you get the answer
see.
wrong, you will have to explain yourself. That's all I'm saying. That's all I got to say.
Okay. All right. Well, you ready for my answer? Because I don't even have to think about it.
Oh,
Ooh. Let us know. Let us
I'm
know.
even more excited now.
We're
You already
ready.
knows.
And let me preface this by saying I have beat both games multiple times. Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Respect.
But my answer is, without a doubt, I don't even have to think about it, Super Mario Bros. 3.
Oh! There it is. Thank you, Matt. Retro Wolf knows what's up. Now,
right.
even though you picked the correct answer, Dan is very sour right now. We definitely want to know why, because they are both monumental games in their own right. They did do a lot for the video game scene at the time.
Well, I want to recount. I want to recount.
You want to recount?
I want to recount.
Listen to this guy.
I'm going to my lawyers. I want to recount.
Oh boy!
But you have to now explain why you
yes.
picked the wrong answer. I just want to know why you picked the wrong answer.
Okay. Yeah, no, absolutely. I can do that. So, and look, it's not, both games are very close. For me, a lot of it, not everything, but a lot of it comes down to nostalgia, because Super Mario Bros. 3 was probably the second video game that I played in my life. First being Ninja Gaiden on the NES.
Oh wow! Also,
And so, I have a ton of memories of playing Super Mario Bros. 3 with my brothers, with friends. So, there is a nostalgic component to it, of course. But I have a lot of nostalgia for Super Mario World, but just not as much as I do for Super Mario Bros. 3. But outside of the nostalgic component, I just think Super Mario Bros. 3 revolutionized the 2D platformer. It just absolutely revolutionized. Now, obviously, Super Mario World took that and built upon it and added
improved it and made it better. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, there's definitely some argument for that, for sure.
it was an evolution, though, as opposed to a revolution, like you said, right?
Yeah, it was an evolution, but I don't know, man. There's just something about Super Mario Bros. 3 for me that's just a certain magic that Super Mario World just didn't quite capture. I do think that the level design is better in Super Mario Bros. 3 personally. And it's not by much, because the level design in both games is just masterful, right? I mean, it really is. But for me, the level design in Super Mario Bros. 3 just edges just a little bit above Super Mario World. But there's just a certain magic to that game, man. And the fact that it originally came out on the NES and it controlled so buttery smooth and beautifully, that's not something you saw very often on that console. So, and it's just, and like I said, it's not by much. It's not by much. I love both games. I have both games. I play both games all the time. But Super Mario Bros. 3 out of the two, I personally think is the better game.
It's fantastic, Matt. You were one of our best guests on the show, and not just because you picked Super Mario Brothers 3. That is fantastic to hear. We love your defending of Super Mario Brothers 3. You made some very good points there. I agree on all of those.
Matt. You're a nice guy. Even nice guys can be wrong. It's okay.
Right.
I still like you. You're still cool.
Well, hey, listen, the beautiful thing about this world is we can all have our own opinions and hopefully respect each other's opinions. Sadly, that doesn't happen a lot these days, but at least we can respect each other's opinions, right?
Listen, both games are great. I have nostalgic for both. I beat both. I think Super Mario World is a superior game to Super Mario Brothers 3, which we won't get into because then we can go on another hour.
We'll make this a 3-hour podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was amazing to have you on. Thank you again for coming on the show. And
listen, don't be a stranger. Come back on the show.
Yeah. You're welcome back anytime, 100%. Do you have anything that Well, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, when the Game Chasers movie comes out, if you guys want me to go into even more detail, because once the movie's out, I can talk about, pretty much anything. So if you ever want me to come back to talk about that, I'm more than happy to do that.
Oh, yeah. When the embargo lifts, you definitely got to come and promote the movie, tell us what scenes you're in. We definitely want to see the movie.
Yeah.
And, before we let you go, do you have anything that you want to plug?
Just, my YouTube channel, youtube.com/RetroWolf88, or in the YouTube search box, just type in RetroWolf88 and it should pop right up. I've got a couple of interesting videos coming up. Me and my cousin sit down and talk about our top 5 gaming memories, which I think one of those involves Super Mario Bros. 3, if I remember correctly.
Nice.
And then we've got a Mama Retro playing Super Mario Kart. That's coming up. And then I've got a updated Switch collection video coming up. But then as far as social media goes, I'm on Instagram, retro_wolf_88. And then Twitter is just @RetroWolf88. That's pretty much it. If the YouTube channel sounds interesting, check it out. If you like what you see, sub. If you don't, then you don't have to sub.
Nice. Yeah, so definitely go and check him out. He is definitely a good follow on YouTube. He is a good follow on the social media. If you want to follow and interact with us, and we know you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube @Rated G for Gamers. And finally, before we go, we have an amazing giveaway going on right now. We are giving away 1 copy of Cyberpunk 2077 for the system of your choice, PS4, Xbox One, or PC. To enter, you must be following us on YouTube, you must like this video, and drop a comment on what you're looking forward to in Cyberpunk in the comment section below. Remember that you can enter once per episode up until the launch of the game. And this giveaway is open to U.S. residents only. So good luck to all who enter. So please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.